Here we'll have discussion about different type of the theorems, like we have importance of superposition theorem, reciprocity, Thevenin's networks. So on the basis of that, what is the previous year question that we are going to see? Apart from this, we have a single phase AC circuit. So there we have discussion about how to find the average value, RMS value, and how to discuss the RL, RC, RLC circuits for the AC inputs. So those are things are discussion here, and these are the very important concept as well as questions from the December 25. And still if you didn't subscribe our channel, please subscribe it, like, share with your friends, and write your comments. It will give us motivation. Okay. So now here question is condition for the maximum power transfer theorem. So maximum power transfer theorem says that when maximum power will be transferred to the load. So what is the condition for the DC circuit? Thevenin's equivalent resistance is going to be equal to the load resistance. So apart from the load resistance, what are the internal resistance we are going to calculate? That is going to be equal to load resistance in case of DC. In case of AC, if you have, so then it will be the conjugate each other. Load resistance, that load impedance and internal impedance, both are going to be conjugate of each other. Next question is mention the advantage of sinusoidal alternating quantity. So this is about the 2 mass. So it is used to minimize the energy losses and reduce the harmonic distortions. So each unit having two objective questions and 2 long question. So long question is here, by using superposition theorem, find the current flowing through 3 ohm resistance. Here we have, in case of superposition theorem, we are going to take one source at a time, and what is the effect of that on the particular resistance or particular branch we are going to observe, and later we are going to add all the individual response. So here one is the voltage source, one is the current source. So if you want to means you can change the current source into voltage source into current source. That also can be done. So here we are considering first voltage source. So when we are going to consider one voltage source, so remaining voltage source should be shorted and current source should be open. So here we have another source is the current. So that's why this path is open here. So now if you see the circuit, this current will not flow through the resistance 10 ohm since path is open. So finally we have current IL1 we are considering across the 3 ohm resistance, and same current is going to flow in the loop also. So by using KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law, this expression we can write here. Okay. So that if you see that we have, so what is the expression of the KVL? That source voltage will be equal to the total drop or total algebraic sum of the voltage in a particular loop is going to be 0. So on the basis of that, here 10 equal to 5 into IL1 plus 3 into IL1. So we have taken common IL1 outside. So 5 plus 3 is the 8. So finally from here IL1 value is 10 upon 8, that is 5 upon 4 equal to 1.25 amperes. So this is the actual current going to pass through the 3 ohm if only voltage source is available. Now we are going to consider the another source, that is the current source. So when we are considering the current source, remaining voltage source should be short and current source should be open. So we have only one voltage source, that's why path is sorted here. So now you can observe here 2 loops. Okay, loop 1, loop 2 here. So in loop 1 we are considering the current as the I1. In the loop 2, we are considering the current I2. So that I2 itself is going to be 5 amperes here. And the current across the 3 ohm, we are going to consider the IL2. Okay. So now here in the loop 1, if you see, again we'll apply the KVL. So source voltage is 0 here. So 5 I1 and 3 I1 minus I2. So here if you see that both direction of the current is opposite. I1 is going upwards, I2 is going downwards. So in which loop we are moving, that current we should take positive. That's why we have taken I1 as the positive and I2 as the negative. So finally, after rearrangement, we are getting 8 I1 minus 3 I2 equal to 0. So it is give us I1 equal to 3 I2 by 8. And we know that I2 value that is same in the loop 2, that is the 5 amperes. So that's why 3 into 5 upon 8. So this value is the I1 current that is going to pass in the loop. So finally, to obtain the actual current which is going to pass through the resistance 3 ohm, that is IL2, is obtained by the expression I2 minus I1. Okay, so 5 minus 15 upon 8. So since here source is what now 5 amperes, that is coming from the due to the that is our I2 current here. So that's why 5 is written first, and minus 15 upon 8 we got the I1. So that difference we are going to get 25 upon 8. So that is equal to 3.125. So this is the actual current which is going to pass through the 3 ohm due to current of 5 amperes. So now what is the total current is going to pass through the 3 ohm resistance due to both sources. That's why two currents are added here. So we have finally 4.375 amperes. So it is going to pass through the resistance 3 ohm. So like this, you're going to get the questions of sometimes maybe Thevenin theorem, sometimes network, sometimes maximum. Any one theorem question they will ask you. Next, we have another question, derive an expression for an average value of this sinusoidal voltage. So when we're talking about this sine waveform, so one cycle we can take as example. So you see that here both side it is symmetric. This is the positive half and this is negative half. So due to this average voltage, we'll see that it is going to be anyhow zero, but we'll see how we can calculate for the positive, first positive half and for the negative half. So here we are considering one sinusoidal waveform, Bm sin omega t, where Bm is the maximum amplitude of this waveform. So this average value is obtained as 1 upon pi integration over 0 to pi Vm sin omega t into d omega t. This is for the positive half cycle. Similarly, for the negative half cycle, again 1 by 2 pi to 2 pi Vm sin omega t d omega t. So here limit is going to change. Okay. So finally, now again, if you differentiate here, so sine differentiation is what? Minus cos. Okay, Bm is the constant, so taken outside. Here also Bm is constant, so taken outside. And sine integration is the minus cos. And limit for the first one is 0 to pi, for the second pi to 2 pi. So now finally, we'll substitute the value. You know that cos pi is minus 1, okay, and cos 0 is 1. And again, cos 2 pi is going to be same as the 0, so that value is 1, and cos pi is the minus 1. So on the basis of that, for the positive half cycle, we are getting 2 Bm by pi. For this negative half cycle, again, we are getting the negative 2 Bm by pi. So that's why it's going to cancel. So that average value for the complete cycle is 0, but for the one half cycle, if you consider, it has for the positive half 2 Bm by pi. Okay, for this is for the positive half, and for the negative half, it will become minus 2 Bm by pi. Next, second part of this is the analyze the series RL circuit with neat sketch. So here RL means resistance and inductors, both are connected in series, and AC source is considered Vm sin omega t. So that voltage across the resistor is the VR, voltage across the inductor is the BR. And you know it is L into di by dt, and reactance of inductor is XL, okay, that is the J omega L, and this resistance you know it is the R. So finally relation between this by using the KVL, B equal to VR plus BL, where B is the source voltage, okay, and in case of resistance, if you see that current and voltage both having same phase, okay, there is no phase shift in terms of voltage and current for the resistors. Whereas when we talk about the inductor, so here you'll observe that voltage is leading the current by the minus, that is the by the 90 degree. It is the negative here, and this is 0. So voltage is leading the current by the 90 degree. That is happening here. And in case of capacitor, if you see that it lags. And if we talk about the phase diagram here, so this is for the voltage due to resistance, this is voltage due to the inductor. and this is the theta, how much phase change, all this thing between two voltage. So finally, again, if you'll apply the Pythagoras theorem, so this is going to be BL, so we can write BG square equal to BR square plus BL square. And theta, opposite side by adjacent side, so that is the tan inverse BL upon R. And if you will talk about the impedance, so impedance will be given as Z equal to root under R square plus XL square, and that theta is the tan inverse XL by R, and that can be represented in this form. So we can have this one. You can write some few sentences about this, and you can discuss about the RL circuit. Either they will ask you RC, RLC, any one circuit they are going to ask. Okay, so these are the important question here from this unit 2 as particular syllabus, where they're talking about the theorems and single phase AC circuits. So there we have RMS value, peak value, all these already. One separate lecture is available for other theorems also with important question of the previous year. That discussion is done. You can watch in the playlist. Thank you. Thank you very much.